What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our final mock draft before the 2022 NFL Draft. All that and much more coming your way right now! All right, before we get into today's video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video as it will help us out tremendously. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. All right, Nick, the NFL draft is just a few days away, and we have our final mock draft for this season. It has been a long, arduous journey with all the ups and downs, free agency, the crazy trades, the most wild NFL offseason that we could have possibly ever expected, and we have finally landed at the draft. I'm so excited to be here. Nick, why don't you start us off? The Jaguars are on the clock at pick number 1. Who are they taking?
Yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars rumored to possibly even be trading out of this draft pick, but at this pick, I have them drafting Aidan Hutchinson out of Michigan. This is one of the most disruptive edge rushers we've seen in a while, and he's going to be a big statement player for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
At pick number 2, the Detroit Lions are on the clock, and I have them selecting Travon Walker, the big-time defensive end out of the University of Georgia. This guy is as solid can get, and he has the upside in the running game. I think that's where you see a little bit of an edge on Kayvon Thibodeaux. I think Travon Walker played at a bigger school than Oregon and really showed up and showed out. I fully expect the Lions to be in on a multifaceted guy like Travon Walker.
Coming in at number 3, the Houston Texans are looking to create a solid offensive line for Davis Mills as Deshaun Watson is finally out of the picture, and they go after Neal, the best offensive tackle in the draft class who can play on the left or right side, and with Laramie Tunsil, you know the bookends will for sure be complete.
At number 4, we have the New York Jets, and we have them taking Kayvon Thibodeaux. This is a match made in heaven. Thibodeaux in Robert Saleh's defense is going to be the next Nick Bosa. This guy is going to get after quarterbacks in the AFC East and beyond. And Kayvon Thibodeaux falling to number 4, the Jets will not let him pass. They can figure out the back end of this defense later in the draft. They still have pick number 10, but letting a guy like Kayvon Thibodeaux pass will not happen with Joe Douglas. He will be a New York Jet.
Coming in at number 5, the New York Giants have their first pick in the top 10, and they go after cornerback Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati, the most lockdown corner in this draft class, who offered up no touchdowns in his collegiate career. He's looking to do so once again with the New York Giants.
Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers on the clock, and the Panthers have to figure out this quarterback situation. They have DJ Moore, they have Robbie Anderson. They really need to figure this out. Sam Darnold did not work out last year. We saw Matt Rule go with PJ Walker and Cam Newton. None of it worked. Let's settle this once and for all. The Carolina Panthers will get Kenny Pickett, the big-time quarterback out of the University of Pittsburgh. This guy is just a really solid quarterback. You know where he's going to be. He has the highest floor amongst every quarterback in this draft class, and he is going to provide some stability at the position for the Panthers.
Coming in at number 7, the New York Giants with their second top 10 pick in this year's draft, and they need to work on the offensive side of the ball, specifically on that offensive line. And with Neal off the board, they go with the second best option, Ike Ekwonu. This guy was a mauler in college, and he's going to do the same thing. He's going to really help Daniel Jones excel in his 5th year.
Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons obviously dealing with the tragic news of Calvin Ridley not going to be part of this team in the upcoming season. They have to fill the void that he left with his production. Insert Garrett Wilson, the highly productive wide receiver from the Ohio State University. This guy is phenomenal in the slot. He is going to be a massive piece for this offense. Working with Marcus Mariota, he's going to be able to command the entire middle of the field and then some. I fully expect him and Kyle Pitts to be the focal points of this offense moving forward.
Coming in at number 9, the Seattle Seahawks desperately need to fill that hole that was left behind by Russell Wilson, and they go after Desmond Ridder, the big quarterback out of Cincinnati. This guy was the best dual threat quarterback in this draft class, and he had a stellar season last year. He's going to have incredible weapons to work with and can potentially be the next franchise quarterback for Seattle.
Next up, we have the New York Jets, and after getting Kayvon Thibodeaux with the number 4 pick. They get Derek Stingley, the big-time corner out of LSU. At the beginning of this draft season, everybody thought that Derek Stingley could go as high as number 1 overall. That has not wavered. His talent is still there. I understand there's questions about his injuries, but Derek Stingley is a solid top-tier cornerback, and he reminds us a lot of Jalen Ramsey. I fully expect that the New York Jets are going to put him to the test as a number 1 corner right off the bat. Him and Kayvon Thibodeaux have this defense looking scary.
Coming in at number 11, the Washington Commanders are looking to get this defense back to the way it was a couple seasons ago, and they need to specifically work on this secondary, and they go after Kyle Hamilton, the big safety out of Notre Dame. This guy can fly around the field, and he could be a true difference maker for the Commanders.
At number 12, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Watching Stingley and Sauce Gardner come off the board before they had a chance to pick was definitely a brutal one to watch. But in their lap falls Trent McDuffie, the big-time cornerback out of Washington. While he stands at 5'11", this man is one of the best cornerbacks we have seen in a long time. To me, he reminds me a lot of Darrelle Revis, very underestimated, but at the end of the day, he is going to be extremely helpful, and he is going to help turn around this secondary and this entire defense one step at a time.
Coming in at number 13, the Houston Texans are on the clock once again after trading Deshaun Watson to the Cleveland Browns, and they need to get Davis Mills, another weapon opposite Brandon Cooks. Why not go with the biggest man available, Drake London, the 6'5" wide receiver out of USC. This guy was a complete difference maker for the Trojans, and he's going to be a complete difference maker for the Texans.
At number 14, the Baltimore Ravens are on the clock, and the reason they're picking so high is because they struggled to protect Lamar Jackson and this rushing attack that they have built their offense on. They have to get back to that, and it starts up front with the offensive line. Insert Charles Cross, the big offensive tackle from Mississippi State. This guy's an absolute mauler. He's going to get after it in the running game specifically, and he's going to be able to pass protect when necessary. I fully expect him to lock down the blind side for the Baltimore Ravens.
The Philadelphia Eagles are up next at 15, and they're looking to get another big weapon for Jalen Hurts as he improves his game going into year 3. Devonta Smith worked out great. Why not get his replica in Jamison Williams? The product out of Alabama absolutely shined last year, and he can do the same opposite Devonta Smith.
At number 16, we have the New Orleans Saints, and after losing Teron Armstead to the Miami Dolphins in free agency, they have to replace the blindside for Jameis Winston. Trevor Penning, the big mauler, the nastiest tackle that we have seen in a long time, will be that guy for them. Coming out of Northern Iowa, this guy had the highest run grade of any offensive lineman ever at a 99.9. He's going to bring that same nasty streak and tenacity to the offensive line of the Saints, and they are going to turn it around this year. Up next at 17, the Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock, and they've made some incredible strides on this defense that was disgustingly bad for them last year, and they're going to continue to improve it with Jordan Davis, the big defensive tackle out of Georgia. This guy is an absolute freak of an athlete and will be an absolute difference maker with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on opposite ends. At number 18, the Philadelphia Eagles are back on the clock. After trading picks with the New Orleans Saints, they get Jermaine Johnson II, the big-time pass rusher coming out of Florida State. This guy can absolutely pin his ears back and get after quarterbacks, and when you're in the division of the NFC East where it is completely wide open, you have to get after Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, and Carson Wentz. I fully expect Jermaine Johnson to be a difference maker opposite Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox. Coming in at 19, once again, the New Orleans Saints are looking to get a wide receiver after what they saw last year without Michael Thomas. It was an absolute disaster, and they're going with Garrett Wilson's counterpart, Chris Olave. This guy was an absolute freak underneath for the Ohio State, and he's going to do the same with the New Orleans Saints. At number 20, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers on the clock, and they need to get the quarterback of the future. Insert Malik Willis, the dual threat god himself. This guy is just absolutely unstoppable with the football in his hands. He is a playmaker through and through, and the Pittsburgh Steelers need a guy like this to electrify this offense with Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson at wide receiver. You already got Najee Harris. You got to fix up this offensive line, but that'll come later. Get Malik Willis in this system, and he will be their franchise quarterback for years to come.
Next up, we have the New England Patriots up at 21, and their linebacking situation has been a disaster since the offseason started. They've made some strides, but they need to make even more, and they do so with the best linebacker in this draft class, Devin Lloyd, out of Utah. This guy was an absolute freak, looks exactly like Fred Warner on the field, can fly sideline to sideline, and this is what Bill Belichick has been looking for in the system.
Number 22, the Green Bay Packers are selecting Treylon Burks, the big-time wide receiver out of Arkansas. Treylon Burks, to me, could arguably be the best wide receiver in this draft class. His ability to cut over the middle of the field, his ability to stretch the defense and go over the top, he can do it all, and Aaron Rodgers, signing that massive deal, needs young receivers to work with him. Insert Treylon Burks. I believe that he is going to be a massive difference maker for this offense.
The Arizona Cardinals are also looking for a difference maker on offense, and they go with another big body receiver, Christian Watson, out of North Dakota State University. This guy had some incredible tape that he showed, and the talent he will bring to the Arizona Cardinals is exactly what they need to bring them to the next level.
At number 24, the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock, and after losing Connor Williams in free agency, the Cowboys have to replenish what they lost, and with Tyler Biadasz moving to guard, I believe that Tyler Linderbaum would be the perfect complement to everything that they have with Zach Martin and Tyron Smith. I believe that the Dallas Cowboys need to go center here.
Next up at 25, the Buffalo Bills, looking to improve this team even more, and they need to replace Levi Wallace, their CB2, and they do so with Andrew Booth out of Clemson. This guy is able to fly around the field, has a nasty streak playing corner, and will be perfect opposite Tre'Davious White.
At number 26, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock, and after losing Roger Saffold to the Buffalo Bills, they have to replace his tenacity, his leadership, and his ability in the middle of this offensive line. Insert Kenyon Green, the big guard out of Texas A&M. This guy is an absolute mauler. He puts defensive tackles on their back with ease, and I fully expect the Tennessee Titans, led by Derrick Henry, to focus on protecting their offense, and Kenyon Green will do just that.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers up at 27 don't have many holes, and they get to look at the luxury picks, going with Devonte Wyatt out of Georgia. This was a pass rushing counterpart to Jordan Davis, and with Vita Vea on the Buccaneers, what a perfect matchup to go inside defensive line.
At number 28, the Packers are back on the clock, and this time they're taking big-time defensive end George Karlaftis out of the University of Purdue. This guy is just absolutely insane. He was a top 10 pick earlier in the season, and now people are saying that he's going to fall. He still has the same talent level. It's just that other people are flashier picks. I believe that the Packers will end up with a steal in George Karlaftis this late in the draft.
And coming in at 29, the Kansas City Chiefs with their first of back-to-back picks. Needing to replace Tyreek Hill, they go with the best option available to do so, Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. Jahan Dotson is an electrifying wide receiver who will be an absolute perfect match for Patrick Mahomes.
At number 30, the Chiefs are back on the clock, and we have them taking Kaiir Elam, the big-time cornerback at the University of Florida. Elam can play safety, he can play corner. He is a hybrid type of player that's going to work perfectly in Steve Spagnuolo's defensive system. I fully expect the 6'2" cornerback to make a difference for the Chiefs in their now stacked division.
And coming in at 31, the Cincinnati Bengals looking to make improvements after they just made the Super Bowl, and they need to look at the defense. That linebacking core needs improvements, and Logan Wilson can't do it alone. They need to go get Nakobe Dean. This guy is an absolute stud as a pass coverage linebacker and will be perfect to cover all the big tight ends and wide receivers in the AFC North.
At number 32, the Detroit Lions are back on the clock, and with all the major quarterbacks off the board, they have to figure out the back end of this defense. Daxton Hill, the safety out of Michigan, is a perfect complement for what they've been building. We saw a lot of no-name players start to rise to stardom in Detroit under Dan Campbell's system. Now give him a hybrid type of guy who can play nickel corner or safety, and his ability to cover in a zone scheme. I believe Daxton Hill will be set up for immense success at number 32 with the Detroit Lions.
Daxton Hill is an incredible player with the ability to be very versatile in the system with all the holes they have. I think this is a great fit.
This was our final mock draft, with the draft only a couple days away. I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of our picks and where you think your team should be picking and who you would like to see them take on day one. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.